What would you do?
The dog ate your poop.
What would you do if a dog ate your poop?
Nah, bro. No dog eating poo scenario here. What would you do if you were shaking the camera with your belly laughs? No, what would you do if you had not one, but two Guy Ritchie movies starring Henry Cavill where he foils Nazis? What would you do, guy?
Obviously, masturbate while watching it.
I mean, that's the answer. To end all answers.
I mean, Nazi just getting destroyed and Henry?
That's the ultimate combination, some would say.
I don't even give a shit about Guy at this point.
Yeah. It's just like you give me Henry decimating Nazis and or suavely foiling their plots. Yeah. I'm there. Take my money, even though technically you didn't because I didn't go see these in the theater.
And no, neither did anybody.
Man, it's kind of sad, but both these movies tanked. And hard, especially the most recent one, I think. So we're going to talk about them, guy. We're going to talk about The Man from U.N.C.L.E. and Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, which just came out like a few months ago. Yeah. And man, crickets. At any time a Lionsgate movie fails, you're like, it's Lionsgate's fault.
To be fair, the marketing for this movie was dog shit.
Yeah, it was bad. You know, when you have, for us, if you say Henry... and he's gonna kick Nazi ass, we're there. Although we weren't, but no, totally. You know, it was probably because of that fucking ad blitz.
Yeah, you would think that Ian Fleming is the most important thing in this goddamn movie.
Yeah, they really focused on that, man, and he's literally like the character he should be, which is a guy that was in intelligence and he saw other people do cool shit from a distance.
Yeah,
that's what he is in the movie.
He's like the Al of this movie. He just kind of sits there, does nothing.
Well, no, because the Al of this movie would be confused about what's going on.
Also, Ian Fleming could write.
All right, let me stop you right there, my friend. I don't think I can do a better job. I know I can do a better job. And I say that with no ego. I know in my heart I could make a better film.
If in case you're wondering which Al, we mean our boy Al Smith, who was confused by Frozen Empire. So I highly recommend he don't watch either of these movies because typical of Guy Ritchie, you know, they're high octane, they move fast, they got a lot of moving parts.
In U.N.C.L.E., are we gonna structure this or can we just talk freely?
We'll structure it, but go ahead and see what you're
in
gonna
U.N.C.L.E., there was a just regular Uncle and Pa. In U.N.C.L.E., there was a part early on where I was like, did I miss something? Because it just straight up drops you in and you're kind of like, what the? So I can only imagine Al's gourd exploding.
Al would be dead, guy. He'd commit. What? Seuss. Anyway, yeah, man. You know, Guy Ritchie, that's just like a thing with him. If you like him, you like him. If you don't, you don't. And you've had decades to figure that out. Mm-hmm. I really like Guy Ritchie. He doesn't always knock him out of the ballpark. But these two movies, I've liked Man from U.N.C.L.E. for a while now. And I don't know what you think. We'll talk about that. But it's definitely a movie that even for a Guy Ritchie, you probably got to watch twice to really get the enjoyment out of it because it is coming at you. Bah, 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 bah.
It's really a pace thing. Like it's not really complex.
No, it's literally just it's fast moving, and then again, like many Ritchie movies, it's an ensemble cast. Yeah, a lot of moving parts and stuff. Ungentlemanly Warfare does the same thing. Lots of moving parts, ensemble cast, but. Let's get the elephant out of the room. We'll be right back. The elephant in the room is, of course, that, for years, decades now, Guy Ritchie has been called the British Tarantino, and not in a very, positive way. And I'll say this, and I think you'll agree with me. Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare is just Inglourious Bastards, only it's based on a true story.
And not as good.
And it's not as good, no. But in my opinion, a hell of a fucking fun time. So let's start with Man from U.N.C.L.E., which is based on, of course, a TV show of the same name. Here's the thing. That's a hard sell already, man. You're throwing somebody out there, an old-ass show, modern audience. They're going to be like Al, and they're going to be like, I don't want to do homework.
I don't understand why there's no uncles in this. Even though there is.
He's like, I want uncles. I was like,
shut the hell up, Al.
Anyway, once we finish beating up Al, we watch the movie. Look, man, it's a hard sell. So already you got that hill to climb, and then, at the time, Army Hammer hadn't been revealed as a cannibal yet.
Yeah, mean.
But he had also had, you know, he was being pushed heavily, and it wasn't really working out.
Army was like who's the John Carter guy that everything they put him in?
Taylor Kitsch.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, they were trying to push him, and nothing was really hitting. And of course, our boy Henry,
Yeah.
you know, he was meeting with a lot of blowback because of Superman, you know. So
I'm really sad that Henry doesn't have more hits.
dude, Henry dedicates so much, puts so much into his roles, and you're like, can we at least give Henry applause? Which he's getting now, but it doesn't mean his stuff is getting money thrown at it. But
it's kind of worrisome because if it continues this way,
it's kind of. I mean, he's lasted longer than Army Hammer. I'm telling you.
I mean, to be fair, who the hell
he has meeting people.
Who the hell gives a shit about Army Hammer?
Man, I wanted to give I like him in Man from U.N.C.L.E. quite a bit, but he did try to eat people. Yeah. So, who does that? The point is, it wasn't a formula for success. Yeah. But man, I'm really sad that this movie didn't pick up because you don't have to watch the show. That's the thing. They really should have sold that. You don't have to watch the show.
Technically a prequel.
They really do justice to the types of characters in the show, but again, you don't have to know that. The movie explains the characters very well and their chemistry very fun. You know, just two guys that have to work with each other, grudgingly respect each other, but they're always kind of trying to get at each other too. It's a fun chemistry, in my opinion. It's at the heart of the movie, I think. And they throw in, you know, a new female character, which I know Al would be fucking incensed at the very idea of a female being.
I don't like females.
And God forbid she should get nude, because then he'd be like, no!
What is that?
I don't know. It's
if
weird,
I was a hot chick, I would be naked 24/7.
That's why I dig Sydney Sweeney. She's like,
here's my tits.
Here's my tits. You don't like it, don't watch them. And I'm like, I like them.
Also, I like her because recently someone told her Madam Web sucked. And she was like, look, Madam Web opened a lot of freaking opportunities for me to do cool stuff. So I respect that movie.
The direct quote was, so suck though it may.
Yeah.
I respect it. Yeah, I don't respect Madam Web, but I respect that point of view.
Dog shit.
And
even though we haven't seen the dog shit.
Yeah, it might be good.
No,
it's not. It's not gonna be. It has those weird tribal araña men.
You're really obsessed with those lately.
It's crappy.
So, I gotta say, apparently this movie was like in freaking development hell for like years.
Man from U.N.C.L.E., not Madam Web.
Well, that one too.
Well, nobody wanted to develop it as well.
That's a good point.
Anyway.
And several people were attached to it. Apparently Matthew Vaughn was attached to it at
that
one point.
That would have been interesting.
Which is interesting because while watching, I was like, this guy could do a cool Kingsman. Like a different feeling Kingsman.
You know, man, this has got a lot of charming elements for me. You know, Cavill being the utmost. Plays great as Solo. Han Solo, that is, for some reason.
Solo?
Oh, man.
Yeah, I gotta say...
We just gotta drop that real quick. Our former co-host, The Guardian, thought that Han Solo was called Hans Olo.
He's not a Nazi guy.
Yeah, what is that,
man?
If
so, he would have gotten his ass kicked by Henry Cavill in this movie.
If Han Solo, a.k.a. Hans Olo, apparently, would have been a Nazi, he would have kicked his own ass. Because he's Indiana Jones.
Oh, that's a good point.
Huh?
Damn.
There's a movie idea for you. Not. Anyway.
Well,
Henry,
my brain kind of broke for a second.
I
did a little L there. Yeah, I gotta say, like, the biggest thing that I liked the movie quite a bit. But I think the biggest thing for me was that Henry performance, dude. He's really cool.
He's good, man. He's just...
I was like, he would have been a really good, like, retro Bond.
Really, man. Yeah, this is oh, man, yeah, good you nailed that because this movie gives you that feel. Like, this guy, you know, the movie's set in the times that the show was set in, so that's good. But Richie really leans into making it feel stylish, and yet, like, it's a movie that would have been made at that time. I mean, granted, with all the amenities of nowadays, but it really feels that way.
It would have been much more boring back then. It would just been two British guys talking for 5 hours, and even though one of them's supposed to be Russian, they're both British.
But yeah, man, just a really good showing for how, you know, this boy. I mean, he could still be Bond, I guess, but it's probably not gonna happen, unfortunately. But
I feel they're gonna choose like a black guy. Not against it. I just have a feeling it's gonna be like a power move.
Yeah, which I'm fine with.
Yeah. We got Black Doctor
Who. In fact, if it makes more people cry, like losers, Do it.
Black female.
Black female, gay,
trans,
riding a fucking unicorn,
blue hair,
punching Al in the face. I'm there.
Not,
if it makes people cry, that's cool.
Not fat though. Please don't.
No. As fat guys,
we don't want
please never a fat Bond. That would suck.
Not fond of that Bond.
Not fond at all, okay.
Anyway.
Fondue maybe, but anyway, fucking yeah, he's so good, man. You know, he's just he oozes charm. It has that 60s vibe. He's what Roger Moore should have been. Let me put it that way in this movie as Napoleon Solo. Even though he's playing Napoleon Solo, he's what Roger Moore should have been, and I think maybe they were going for and failed miserably.
You mean as Bond, not in life. Right?
Oh, yeah. You don't want to be Roger Moore as Bonder in life.
He seemed like he was pretty happy.
Well, yeah, but I don't give a shit about his happiness. I want him to entertain me.
You know what's... No, never mind. Let's not go down that route.
Now I gotta know.
You know what's outrageous?
I like how there was no hesitation.
Because I've been bottling this rage up for years.
Okay.
They got rid of Sean Connery.
Yeah.
Because he was, quote, too old.
Yeah.
And yet they replaced him with Roger Moore, who's 2 years older.
Well, then
looks like dog shit.
Let's not forget that they brought in a replacement before Roger Moore. Yeah. Based solely, maybe not solely, but he really looked like Sean Connery did. Oh God, what's his name again?
I forgot his name.
Oh my God, it's gonna kill me now.
Lazenby,
George Lazenby. He looked like Connery quite a bit. I'm guessing that's what they leaned on, and then put him in the funkiest clothes of all time. But anyway, and he sucked, bro. He was not. Charming, he was not a good actor. Let's just say that. Yeah. Okay, the movie's okay, but whatever. But yeah. Roger Moore, mad older, looks like dog shit.
It's kind of like if you had the perfect Superman, and you bring in a guy that just looks like a freaking Great Value Superman.
Yeah, kinda like that. How apropos. Anyway, Superman is great in this, but let's talk about the fucking guy that eats people. Apparently,
I guess we have to talk.
Armie Hammer.
Armie's pretty good.
He's good, man. He plays a good...
I hate him, but he's pretty good.
I mean, do I hate Armie? I feel like Armie was just getting off on his king. I feel like, look, if you don't know, Armie Hammer...
We've been mentioning it a lot.
Yeah, was exposed by his exes as a guy that had a fetish kink for cannibalism.
Yeah.
Okay? And, look, the guy's rich, and that means a lot of rules don't apply.
Also, he's bored, probably.
Yeah. I'm gonna bet that eventually... he would have indulged in cannibalism, but he didn't, I think. So we can at least give him that much. But whatever, I didn't know that when I watched this movie. And I don't know, he was really good. He was really good in the role. If you like the show, this is like a, I don't know, man. It's like a shot to the arm. It really updates it in a good way. And if you don't like it, I think the rapport between these two works.
Yeah. Also like Hugh Grant.
Man.
He's in it not very much, but he's pretty cool. Kind of wanted more Hugh.
It would have been cool if there were sequels, because obviously Hugh, as kind of the handler to this whole new coupling of these characters, would have been great to see more of.
Well, as late as 2018, they were still like, "Yo, we would like to make this," but then Armie ate people.
Yeah,
so.
Armie had to fucking eat and ruin
who does that?
Entire careers, man.
Not that I think it would be made, because again, it made 0 cents.
Yeah, 0 cents, man. Oh, by the way, Alicia Vikander's in this too. She's kind of like this new character that's introduced into the dynamic of Napoleon and Ilya, and I think she's wonderful in it. I gotta say, she's a weird looking chick.
Am I right? That's a chick that I find like super unattractive.
Yeah, super talented.
Not hideous or anything.
No, we're not saying that.
Just like,
but
doesn't float my boat, as I would say.
In this movie, our boy Henry Cavill is the hottest person. You know what I'm saying?
I would suck his dick right now.
Okay.
Damn, he is the hottest.
He's the hottest.
Yeah,
she's not. He is. So
also,
I'm just putting that out there.
Armie Hammer makes him look tiny.
Yeah.
So that's another reason to hate Armie.
Yeah. Probably ate his feet. Brought him down a few inches, man. But Vikander is great, man. She's one of my favorite movies, of course, Ex Machina, and she's great here. She brings in, she holds her own against these two characters that are already playing. I'm sorry, these two actors that are already playing, renowned characters in a way that I don't know is really appealing here in this version. And she holds her own weight, does very well. But of course, ultimately, they are taking down Nazis in this movie, which is just like the cherry on the sundae for me. I really enjoy Man from U.N.C.L.E. We didn't even give you a plot rundown. Why? Because all you need to know is Henry Cavill is teaming up with some cool guys, and the guy, a guy that eats people and the cool chick to take down fucking Nazis. That's all you need to know, okay?
Yeah.
That's right, toe. All you need to toe.
That's he needs to toe.
Man, he does gnaw on that toe,
sucking his foot.
Anyway, Man from U.N.C.L.E., I highly recommend, unless you're Al, because you're going to be mad confused.
Dude, there were several...
After all, he did get confused by Halo.
There were several moments where I was like, Al would not...
You literally said, this is a movie with a lot of Al moments, and that was not a positive statement.
No, dude.
Anyway, Man from U.N.C.L.E., recommend? Not recommend, hate?
Recommend that, boy.
Yeah.
I'd give it like a... It's weird, because I don't think it's like a amazing movie.
I agree.
But it is really fun.
Super fun.
So I'd give it like an 8.
Look, I'm going to give it a 7.5.
Fun 8.
7.5, but super fun to watch. Really enjoyable. I'll give it a 7.5 because I definitely want to give a higher score to Ministry. Why did I forget? Ungentlemanly Warfare.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare based on true events. But man, let me tell you, liberties are taken, boy. And that's fine because, again, all I want to see is Henry Cavill and some badass boys and gals kick Nazi ass. That's right. And it happens. And I like that.
Yeah.
And it's cool. And yes, it's basically Inglourious Bastards, only without the dramatic elements and just straight up the mission.
And boats.
But I'm 100% okay with that.
The fact that there's boats, you would assume Al would like it.
The cool breeze and the cloudless sky, and God, would I love to be out at sea right now.
Nah.
But once again, there's many moments where I was like, he would be lost.
Yeah, well, one, he would be lost, and then he'd turn around and be trying to wax philosophical on sailing.
Yeah.
And then you'd want to punch him in the face, and you'd be like, dude, just watch the movie and not in parts.
No one likes that.
No one likes you. No one likes you. No one likes when you break down a movie into parts, as you do.
Yeah, who does that?
Who watches a movie in chunks? Anyway, we're talking too much about Al. Let's talk about Nazis getting their asses kicked. Now here, the Nazi element obviously is, more up front because it's a World War II set movie. This is based on Operation Postmaster. And, I mean, obviously they amp up, a lot of elements, make it larger than life. Certainly, our boy Henry is playing a certified badass here. Cool as hell.
It's one of those movies that has the classic moment at the end where they show the real people and you're like, oh.
Yeah. You were just bombarded with coolness and the reality of the world is disappointing as shit. You're like, I
hate that.
I hate how they look.
Yeah. That being said, I didn't hate how Henry looked. This is probably one of his coolest looks.
Super cool.
I would even say hottest looks.
I mean, you put a guy in leather that looks like Henry. And it's not gay to say he's hot.
He's got the little freaking stash. He's got the beard.
Stash. He's got that, can't be bothered, super cool and suave, a dry British dude. Love that. But I gotta say, cool as he is, and correct me if I'm wrong here, and it's an opinion, so you'd be wrong in correcting me.
Yeah.
But I think the coolest guy in this movie was Jack Reacher himself. What's his name? Tall Boy?
I think his name is Tall Boy again.
I think his name's Tall. I forgot his name, but he was pretty fucking rad in this movie.
Something.
Yeah, whatever his name is. The guy that's playing Jack Reacher right now.
Not Armie Hammer.
Not Tom Cruise. But he was super fucking rad in this movie.
He was pretty cool. Several times during the movie, I kind of flip-flopped between thinking that Henry Cavill would be a cool B.J. Blazkowicz in the Wolfenstein movie, and him being a cool B.J. Blazkowicz in the movie.
Yeah, I think old Jack Reacher there, physically,
yeah,
definitely would be, So I guess because he is so also good at, acting chops, I think he'd be the best fit. But who doesn't want Henry in anything?
Yeah, I mean, really, I just want him in me.
Here's something interesting about Warfare, as I'm gonna call it from now on.
Dubs.
But as it is violent, but the visceral nature of the violence is extremely tampered down.
Yeah.
Not to its detriment. Don't get me wrong.
There's even like moments where they cut away from, which was kind of weird one time, which is Axe. Yeah, Axe. It seemed like it was edited.
Yeah,
maybe it wasn't, but it seemed like it was.
It's weird. I'm thinking. I don't know if that was a creative choice or if they opened with a scene that had fucking stabbing out the ass, and then the ratings board was like, you can't have this constantly. Either way, it doesn't.
I just want to say the rating, if that was the case, the ratings board can suck my nuts.
Yeah.
Because these are Nazis.
Yeah.
We all know that there's nothing better in life than killing a Nazi.
Nazi guy. I bet if Nazis had won the war,
they would
still enjoy movies where Nazis get killed. Because fundamentally, deep down, they know that they suck. So, yeah, man. But anyway, Warfare's movie where... I'm sticking with it. That's what I'm calling it, guy. Where, this ragtag group gets put together by Winston Churchill himself. Got a mad props to the guy that played Churchill here. He churched it up. I like it. I'm a Churchite. 2 thumbs up. But anyway.
You are a Churchite. What is that?
I like Church, guy. I like Churchill and Lincoln.
Well, I was about to say, who are you a bigger fan of? Honest Abe himself or Church?
I think Abe is more physically iconic.
And
visually iconic. And he's honest. And clearly he kills vampires.
Yeah.
But, Church Hill, that is. Not Church the cat.
Or Churches the chicken.
Definitely not that. Shit's greasy as hell, man. Churchill, I don't know. He was just like a legitimate badass, dude. This dude... And by the way...
Also, fellow fat man.
Fellow fat man, one.
Fellow gross face.
Yeah. Definitely gross face like us. But dude was insanely smart. Unwilling to buckle. One of the few people that was like... let's be honest. It's because of Churchill that we're not under Nazi rule, really, because this dude did not buckle. And this movie does a good job of portraying how pussy the British were about it.
True.
Anyway, this ragtag group of rogues is put together by Winston Churchill and basically told that they're expendable, but they gotta go and cut off Hitler's supply, to the U-boats, which of course are causing a big problem. All this during, of course, the Blitz of London by the Nazis. Great setup. Obviously in real life it didn't happen that way. Fucking Gus, Henry Cavill's character was already in the special forces, so... but here it's just cooler when he's like this guy that you gotta control.
Again, very unclean. Like his character's pretty similar to.
Super cool, suave, collected, British.
They had to bring him in because he was a rogue.
Yep, rogue.
Would suck his dick.
Technically, it's the same character, only in a different time period, but cooler because he kills Nazis.
He does kill Nazis
all the time. 1, 2, he steals their coats. And if somebody can bring back Nazi coats and not have them be offensive,
dude,
it's Henry Cavill.
I wanted a Nazi coat.
Look, Nazis suck, okay? But we got to give them credit for one.
Their style was amazing.
Style was off the hook.
First of all, they have the best color scheme of anything ever.
I mean,
red,
simple,
white, and black.
Beautiful. Well, maybe not beautiful.
Well, it's pretty beautiful.
It's beautiful when you take it away from what it's associated with.
I feel like if that imagery was not tied to, jerks, it would be pretty cool.
Yeah, man, we got to give him that at least, I don't know who came up with that.
Definitely not Adolf.
Nah, he didn't come up with that. His boys did.
Too busy painting dogs.
He knew how to get a team together just like Churchill. He was like, I'm putting together a team, you see? And I need someone with style. Enter, I don't know who the fuck, Mengele. Here, I got some skin shirts.
Nah.
I'm like, I'm good.
I'm good. I'm gonna go with Hans.
It's Olo.
Anyway,
fucking the Nazis dress well, and this old boy right here just shoots one, takes his coat, and it's great.
Oh, and I guess Ian Fleming's in it too. I guess.
Yeah, they made such a push.
What was that?
He's barely in it, guy. He's appropriately in it. Literally, like I said, as a guy that watched cool people do cool shit from a distance, from behind a radio.
And was super uncool himself.
Yeah. Which is, that's exactly what you'd expect out of an author. But anyway. Especially, technically Al's an author, so...
Well...
Definitely expect someone that's just watching cool stuff happening and not doing any cool stuff on his own.
Did I contribute to legitimizing Al's authorness by buying his book?
Anybody can write a book.
Yeah, but I bought it.
Moses wrote a book, and he was just a guy walking around the desert.
Yeah, but he was led by the Lord himself.
Or was he? Was he just a crazy guy?
He did turn his back on the Lord guy.
He did, man.
Who does that?
Man, he turned his back on the Lord so bad that even though he did all that cool shit
he was
for
like,
him...
you ain't coming in.
Yeah, the Lord was like, you're getting buried in a mountain, fool.
You out, guy.
You're getting buried in this mountain that looks over the place where we were going. Because you suck. That's gotta suck.
Yeah.
Anyway, the Lord's antics aside, Fucking, what were we talking about? Oh, yeah. Another thing about Warfare, and, I mentioned it's kind of just like Inglourious Bastards, Till Schweiger is in this, and, of course, he was Hugo Stiglitz in Inglourious Bastards, and here he's like the main bad guy.
Hugo.
Which is kind of a bummer because, but he did age like a fucking ton between the movies, so you're kind of like, he's not cool looking enough anymore to be a good guy. He could be Nazi scum. But it brings up the question, I wonder how all these Germans feel about portraying Nazi scum.
It's kind of weird.
It's got to be sucky.
I got to go back to add something to Uncle just so I can mention it
Man
for this
Uncle?
one. Yeah. No, just our uncle.
Oh, yeah, Jose?
That's not our uncle, but okay. Uncle had a really good soundtrack.
Yes.
Like, really cool soundtrack.
Another Tarantinoism, by the way, that Richie does.
True. I guess score, I would say.
I'd say Ministry has more of a score.
Yeah.
Whereas Uncle has
a lot
more
of music, yeah. But the score stuff is really cool.
Yes, I agree.
I think that this one also had a really good score, but Uncle's was better, dude. Like, I was bopping to Uncle.
Uncle has that benefit of being that mix, both score and soundtrack, and of course the soundtrack takes you to the time and place, adds to the cool factor. So I would agree on that respect. However, we can't shit on the fact that Warfare, as I have now dubbed it, is mad badass, like a westerny, neo-westerny style.
Kind of weird how like spaghetti westerny it was at times. Had boings in there.
Boings, lots of boings.
I was like, what? Who throws boings in there? It's also weird that this movie cost a lot less than Uncle.
That is weird, isn't it?
Right? Like,
what is that?
A lot less.
You're literally going back like two decades.
I think it was like 80 million, I think. And it made 20, guys. Woof!
What a shame. Anyway, Uncle, you gave us, I gave a 7.52.
Yeah.
You gave an 8. What are you giving Warfare?
I'm going to give it like, God, it feels too high. I'm funness level. I'm going to go 9, guy.
Yeah. Funness level 9 myself too. Obviously, I'll be like an at 8.5 if, we're going to take in. It's not as great as like let's say Inglourious Bastards. Right?
It's like a 6 if you're comparing
but
it to
again,
Inglourious.
We're talking about the fun of seeing badasses do badass things. I'm there for this ride, guy. I watched it yesterday. I watched it again today. And sometimes even if you like a movie and you watch it back to back the second time, it might.
You record a commentary while doing it.
Oh man, Al, if you got this far into the video, you even got into this video. Because Al, I think, is avoiding watching videos because he knows I'm going to be like, come on, boy. Don't do commentaries, guy. It's like, why would anybody care?
Unless you're involved in the movie, no one cares.
And to be fair...
Or a hilarious person.
Yeah, you got to be funny as shit, knowledgeable as shit, and even then, you're going into Neil deGrasse territory.
Yeah, I remember watching very appropriate. I remember watching a James Bond movie. I forgot which one it was. Doesn't matter. It was one of the Connery ones with commentary, and it was just some know-it-all, and I wanted to wedge you that turd the entire time.
Sometimes that shit just doesn't work.
Licked.
But Al doesn't even, quote, want to do homework for movies, which, by the way, most of the time you don't have to do that. Sometimes you do, but those movies are few and far in between.
Yeah.
Like this one, I guess he could argue...
He's a student of history, though. So.
Oh, that's true. As a student of history, he shouldn't have to do homework. But anyways, after all, World War II, one of the most renowned eras of all time. But
classic, some might say.
Yeah. Look, I knew the barest minimum about Operation Postmaster. Didn't brush up on it. I just fucking watched the movie. And guess what? It paid off because most movies are not historically accurate. It's just a fucking movie, man. You know what I'm saying? Watch the goddamn thing. It informs you. But anyway, I don't know where I was going with that. Other than stop doing commentaries, Al. It's not good. Thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with that one.
Imagine if we did commentaries for something.
Well, we were going to do one for that Nosferatu cut, but you cut that.
Oh, yeah, we were.
There is interest in there in your process, your creative process there.
That's true. We should still do that.
Yeah, we should do
Be
that.
mad boring, though. But anyway.
No one would watch it.
No one at all.
Definitely not me.
Yeah. Not watching back our videos. But anyway. Yeah, man. Highly recommend both of these movies. Hell of a fun fucking time. They deserve better fates than this at the very least. It is kind of good to hear that, like, Uncle is getting cult following. And I suspect that this one will eventually.
They call it the uncult.
Damn, that's good, guy.
Right?
except it doesn't work out because if you're following Uncle, you're uncult. You would be cult, not uncult. Right? Anyway.
I guess.
Anyway, makes more sense if you think about it, or you do a brush up on your homework. But anyway, highly recommend them, guy. Got my seal of approval, not just because Henry's in them, but because they're fucking badass.
Dude, I like the fact. I mean, there's a two-sided thing to this, but I like the fact that Guy Ritchie clearly likes Henry.
Yeah.
Because that means Henry kept getting cool roles.
And God knows, Guy Ritchie, despite a lot of box office failures, cool or not, he keeps on getting fucking funding for movies, so that's good.
That being said, it's also bad that the movies he's been in have tanked.
Oh, yeah, mad tank. Yeah.
So that's not good.
Anyway, we hope the best for both our guys, Guy and Henry. Go watch them, guys. Let us know what you think about them. In the meantime, we're out.